We at eyeQ have been talking a lot about credit spreads recently, and credit spreads are an area that it can be quite tricky for retail investors to get to grips with. The simplest way to think about it is just to relate it back to your own personal finances. In the same way you might think about how interest rates going up makes your mortgage more expensive, for a company, rising interest rates makes their ability to borrow more expensive. The way that financial markets measure this is mainly by looking at credit spreads, which is the difference between government bond yields, which is basically viewed to be the risk-free rate, the best that you can get out there, and what a corporate has to pay in the financial market to borrow. And as spreads go wider, it's becoming more expensive for companies to borrow that money. Hopefully that helps provide a little bit of context. We've been talking about credit spreads a lot recently because it's going to be a major topic for the year ahead. It's really how the monetary policy tightening, the central banks hiking interest rates to try and fight inflation. This is the kind of area where it's the transmission through to the actual real economy and it starts to impact economic activity on the ground. Watching credit's going to be really, really important. There's lots of different credit things to watch, so we thought we would just highlight one that is of interest at the moment. In this chart here, you're looking at an ETF. BKLN is the leveraged loan ETF. And this might be the most important area of the credit market in the months ahead, because it's the area that is probably most at risk from rising interest rates causing real pain to companies. You can see here macro model confidence in this chart, currently 73%. So macro conditions are doing a good job of explaining this ETF and how it's moving. If we move to the next chart, what you can see is model value in blue. And what's critical here is to watch what this blue line does. The improvement we've seen over October and November says that macro conditions have got better for these leveraged loans. But you can see that that kind of uptrend has started to lose a little bit of momentum and is starting to potentially top out. If you see this roll over, that would be a sign that one of the most riskiest areas of the credit market is potentially turning lower, and that would have broad ramifications for the rest of financial markets. It would be consistent with risk off, lower equities, potentially stronger dollar. So a really important part of the financial markets for retail investors to be watching closely.